Good morning, and welcome to Hack Shack Studios. Haven't done one of these in a while. Got a frog in my throat. And yeah, let's see if I can get through something that resembles a live stream. It should be fun. It should be fun. First, let me take care of my frog problem. Man, my beard's out of control. Yeah, and as always, you guys, give me a sign of life in the chat. It always helps, gives me confidence, lets me know I pushed all the proper buttons and pulled all the right levers. So I hope everyone's good out there, man. I haven't done a lot of morning streams. I've been really trying to focus on getting pages done for you guys, black and white pages. So yeah, I'm real happy with the way they're coming out. They're coming out great, man. Yeah, so also I'll get into this in a bit. First, I kind of want to show. I got some black and white stuff I want to show you guys. I'm going to get into a stalker story. I didn't know how to put the the title of the stream. Morning hullaballoo. Pin pal gets out of control. I was going to use pin pal because he was kind of a pin pal. More of just a straight up stalker, but I don't know. It's such an old term. I didn't know how you guys would respond to pen pal. But it's interesting. It goes from like 0 to like a billion. The story does. It gets pretty out of control. I might have mentioned it before in passing, but I'm going to get into like the meat and potatoes, as they say, of the story today. Oh, we got a sign of life. This is good. This is good. We got Past Master Dan. You always know you got a party when you got Past Master Dan. God bless you, young man. Thank you so much. Check is in the mail, Mr. Dan. You've been cleaning. Yeah, squaring stuff away, putting stuff up. I got that whole corner, I guess, over here. I put up my animation cells. So you can see the Grinch over. You can see the Grinch here. Betty Boop. I have a vintage Betty Boop, and I have a vintage Tigger. I also have a Pooh Bear too, from the I guess late '60s, early '70s, whenever it was. And then this one here is a Superman. And then they wrap the whole entry, upstairs entry. So I thought it'd be cool to show off some of my artwork, my collection, as it were. And I don't know about cleaning, just more like just squaring stuff away. I don't think I cleaned much. Hey, Peyton, what's up? Good morning to my pal Art. Yes, indeed. Hey, there's the real Steve Dye. Hey, I got to get Steve on. Yeah, we're putting an art book together, Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff 2, Volume 2. Let me take a minute. I'll show you, since I got Steve here. This is what we're going to be working on. This is Steve's already sent me some pages. They look fantastic. Yeah, he's hitting home runs. Yeah, so what I did is a few years ago, I put out an art book, always thinking I was going to put out another one. So Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff too, Volume 2. So I thought that would be a good play on words. And so this was the Volume 1. You can see it says Volume 1 there. And so we're going to do Volume 2. And Steve Dye is going to put it together for us. So, you know what? Let me fix my camera. My camera's bouncing. I forgot to do click my camera here. That's annoying. I hate when I go on other streams. I see bouncing. There we go. All right. So yeah. So I don't know. Some of you guys might have these. They were very, very limited. I'm going to do a volume, like one, I guess like Second Chance. So there's like layouts and sketches and things like that. I don't want to open it all the way because I don't want to break the spine. So there's pencils, inks, finished with colors. There's some vintage. This is DC work. bunch of different covers, flash covers. I thought this came out pretty good. It was a commission to redo the Wills Portaccio Bishop cover. I inked it, but Wills penciled it, so this is my version of it. I thought it came out pretty good. So yeah, this is a Sheena piece I did for Dynamite, and there's all the different sketches and things in there. It's a fun book, so I'm going to. I thought this came out good. It's going to be similar but different since Steve's putting it together. So we're going to put out. We're going to give a second chance to get this. So we're going to go back to print. I'm trying to figure I'm not sure about redoing a cover, like doing a new cover or keeping this cover. I like this cover. Also, it's UV, so all the stuff is already done for the UV process. So I'm thinking of a second chance for this, and that will happen within the next few months, and then Steve and I will put out volume 2. And the good thing is, like with volume 2 and the second chance, it will already be done. Like I won't have the books for the volume 2 printed yet because I need you know a count on how many to make. So but all the artwork, the book will be pretty much done and ready for print, and then you know, we'll do the campaign, and so we can, you know, as soon as the campaign's over and we have you know, our print run, then I can go and I can print those up and we can start fulfilling. So that's what we're going to do. So the art books, what's good about those is while you guys are waiting for black and white to get finished, you know, I can get you a couple other books in the meantime, and not slow down the process of working on black and white. So that's the plan. That's the plan. At least at this point, everything can change. Using my Aquaman powers to summon the CG fish. Ooh, salmon. There is like bagels and lox, right? There is like a salmon breakfast food. Mr. K, in his way, will challenge the world. Had to hide it from the dog. Yes, indeed. Let me see. Steve says drums are set up in my pool house now. One assumes the drums are right over here. They're still set up. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I almost have the studio where I want it. So I think I'm going to do a studio show where I'll show off the studio. It's really nice. It's pretty big. It's kind of my dream studio. It's real open, and there's a place for everything to entertain the neighbors and such. Yeah, drums do that. Drums have a way of entertaining everybody. Oh, yeah. Well, you guys are all welcome. Always, always. Don't bend the spine, kid. Exactly, yeah. I only have a handful of those left. So I want to keep them in good shape. Good morning, all. Hey, Skip Edwards, what's up? We have Vilnid. Long time no see. Nice pooter. What's a pooter? I don't know what a pooter is. Poster. I like pooter. Hey, Jasper, Plan 9. I think Ethan last night was threatening to play the movie Plan 9. The Ed Wood stuff. Okay, Jasper says, I'm sorry, or I'm working. Sorry if I don't It's all good, man. Eric the Guapo, what's up? All right. Okay, so I got some cool stuff I want to show off. First, I'm going to show off the campaign. So I always feel like we need context. So my mouse is being weird as always. Okay. Here we go. All right. It doesn't like me to move fast. All right. So the reason for the season, Black and White Volume 2, Man versus Machine. Yeah, we are in demand, but don't let that slow you down. We're not going to slow down. We have original artwork that we're going to be offering soon. We have, I guess they're called Keshi figures or Kishi figures. They're like the little muscle figures. I have some finished versions of those that I'm going to show off on this live stream. Eric Hutfels has been putting that together. He's also going to send me some of the prototypes, so that's going to be cool. And we'll have those up soon. He's got the Whitney, aka White. He's got that all sculpted up so that he's got to make the molds and things like that, and work out the kinks as far as the casting. And then we're going to go into full production on these bad boys, and we're going to offer them as a tier. So that will be very, very cool, man. Little toys for you guys. I think it'll be fun. So let me play this video.
From RT there comes the exciting conclusion to the Black and White origin saga. 60 pages of pulse-pounding action. In a world where law and order are often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white. Man versus machine.
Yeah, guys, back at today. The link is in the description. And like I said, let's not let the in-demand stuff slow us down. We still have a really, really good chance of getting to that 100K stretch, or not stretch goal, but there is a stretch goal that we're going to offer. We haven't announced it yet, but yeah, we'll get to that 100K, and we will party like it's 1999. That is a dated reference, of course, but it still works. It still works. It still rocks. Yeah, so we have Black and White Volume 2, Man versus Machine. They're back and badder than ever. This will be the epic conclusion to the Black and White origin saga, as the video said. And it's a doozy. It's a doozy. So it's written by me and my buddy Joe Fulton. And we got a great story that we concocted for you. I'm well into the storytelling. I got a bunch of pages penciled and inked. The whole book is laid out, all 64 pages. I don't have the epilogue penciled out yet, but that will be 4 extra pages. So the total page count is 68 pages. And yeah, we have Volume 2 has variant covers. We have the Kenneth Rocafort cover here. And this thing is amazing. He said, "What should I draw?" I said, "Just black and white destroying robots." That's all I tell everybody. And it always works. It always works. And then we have this incredible Joe Bennett variant. He penciled this up in kind of a breakdown. I asked him to do like breakdowns so I could do finished inks on it and kind of bring it into like a black and white style, which I think it's cool. There's a hybrid between Joe style and the black and white style that I draw in. So this came out really, really good. We got Kyle Ritter to do the coloring for it. The reason I always say Kyle Higgins is because we worked with Kyle on Deathstroke, the Terminator. So Joe worked on that, and Kyle was the writer, and I was the finisher. So I apologize. This is Kyle Ritter. Not to be mistaken with Rittenhouse. Oh, and this we're gonna show us some artwork. This is High Octane Adventure. This is an animated style, brought to you by Pedro Ang and Von Klaus of Monster MD fame. Did the writing. I had a basic pitch for Von Klaus, and and I just threw it out there, and man, did he come back with a great, great story. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. The style is new, it's refreshing, it's interesting, and Von Klaus's style really, really fits Pedro's penciling and inking and coloring. Pedro is a triple threat. So we also have a volume one second chance printing. So we completely sold out of the original volume one. So this will have a new cover on it, and we're bringing this sucker back for this campaign. So if you guys didn't get volume one or just want a cool variant cover, come by and pick that up. We still have a few of the Greg Capullo variants, only available in the black and white jam tier. And all these books, with the exception of the Greg Capullo, are offered as add-ons. And so then we have the story page breakdowns. So these are my layouts. So when I say all the book is done in layout form, this is what I'm talking about. So this is a visual to let you see what the heck I'm talking about. So you guys can own these. These are the only black and white. It's the only black and white artwork available at this moment in time. We are going to be selling the original pages, or putting up the original pages for you guys to back relatively soon. I want to get a good amount of pages done before I offer them up. So yeah, it's weird. It's like you kind of get like you don't want to let your babies go until they're ready. So that's kind of how I feel. There's no real reason to not do it. It just doesn't feel right at this point. So yeah, so for now, the layouts you guys can back. They're only $40, and you can also get these as add-ons. So you can pretty much back any tier and then customize the tiers when you check out with all the add-ons. And I'll just bypass that. And then we have all these cool stretch goals. I usually don't go over them, but I think they're cool to mention yet again. So once again, you guys, when we launched this, we had a pre-launch that went bad. So we were supposed to be able to get a mention, like a pre-launch mention to everybody, so you guys could get a free trading card. So if you signed up, everybody was going to get early access to the site, like an hour before anybody else, and you're going to get a free trading card. Well, MailChimp didn't. The MailChimp message went out, but the attachment didn't go along with it. So what we decided to do, we as in Pamela and I, is everybody's going to get that pre-launch trading card. So right off the bat, you guys get one free trading card. That's not a stretch goal. That's just a trading card, and it's a pretty cool one at that. So then the first stretch goal is 30K, which you guys have unlocked that. That will be the trading card, and then another trading card, and then at 40K you guys will get the Boom Baby Inko sticker. At 50, the upgraded cover, which we're going to do the cardboard stock, the heavier stock paper. At 55K, we upgrade the paper stock, so you're going to get a killer graphic novel format, square bound, heavy stock paper for the cover, and upgraded paper stock for the interiors. That's one of the cool things about these campaigns is we can keep adding to the book itself, not just giving you cool freebies, but also we can build the book bigger and badder. And so then at 60K, you get the embroidered Phoenix World Rises patch. So this is the villain of the piece. This is JC, aka Jake Chang, and his evil organization. And so the first black and white, we had two patches. We had the black and white gun sight, yin yang, and then we had the MI10 like patch. And so we're going to have the Phoenix World patch, which will be cool to add to your other 2 patches. If you back the original campaign. That's why also you guys always got to get in on the campaigns while they're live, because then you can get all these goodies. Some people pull down their stretch goals and don't offer them in demand, but we do. So 65K unlocks. This is cool. You get 64 pages. Well, it's going to be 68 pages of PDF, the written story by Joe Fulton and myself, and you get 68 pages of story breakdowns. So this will be the complete behind the scenes written and breakdowns of the book of Man versus Machine. So 75K is the epilogue. This is where we add to the book again. So this is 4 extra pages, and this epilogue will kind of be it'll be a wrap up to the story proper, the first 2 issues of the origin, and then we'll get into possibly where the black and white adventures will go from here. So it's going to be a little bit of a tease of where the next story arc will go. So 80K, we got the UV enhancements to the main cover. So wow, 80K, this is so cool, you guys. We got to 80K and beyond, yeah. So we were able to do the UV enhancements. Those things really make the covers come to life. So I'm so glad we could do that. At 85K, which I'm going to get into more details soon, and get into that, which is the fan art trading card set. So do you like contests? So do we. Here's the ultimate fan fun. We will unlock at 85K, which we have done, and start sending your drawings of black and white. So five drawings will be chosen, 5 pieces of artwork, and those 5 will be made into a trading card. And so what we're going to do, which will be cool for each trading card, is they'll have a title. There'll be a name for each one of the pieces of artwork. So it's kind of like the old trading cards of the past, where they would have like a scene, and it would say, you know, Batman is in a bind once again, you know, or you know, this is the cat's meow, and you know, it would be Catwoman in the artwork. So they would all have like titles, like the way they used to title comic books. Comic books don't really have titles anymore. Like each book used to have its own title for the story. So we're going to do that. And also on the back will be a little bit of a bio to each one of the artists that have that were chosen, and we'll have their contact info. So we'll have like you know, their Instagram, or you know wherever they want to steer traffic towards. So you know, people that get the cards can see their other artwork, you know. So it'll be a way of kind of giving a spotlight to some new talent, but also, you know, where we can all enjoy, you know, 5 cool trading cards. So there's already quite a bit of trading cards that you guys will get as far as stretch goals. So this is a lot of fun. And you guys, if you want, still, you know, if there's any artists out there that are listening right now, do some drawings up. You know, send them my way, and we'll put those in with the rest of them, and then we'll pick the best 5 out of the set. And you guys, those 5 will get a trading card. So then, we have the 90K. We have the 90K, which is woohoo. We've got a stretch goal here. A black and white die cut sticker is now yours. So for 90K, we're going to have that a cool sticker. It's going to be die cut. The design is pretty cool. I had Shay, Red Valkyrie, put it together, and it looks fantastic. And so also there was a drum solo, which I already did. And if you go back into my YouTube history, you should be able to find that. And so then the 100K we will announce as we get closer to that goal. So yeah, so there's quite a bit of stuff here you guys will get with a purchase of a book. So you'll get all of those stretch goals with a purchase of a black and white book. So oh, and don't forget, you guys, we got some merch. We got the black and white wraparound tees, and we have the Inko t-shirt as well. So you can get those as add-ons to your orders of black and white. So we've had quite a bit of traction the last couple days. So thank you guys so very much for supporting the campaign. If I could get a shout out today from you guys, I would greatly appreciate that. So let's go back to the chat, see what you guys are talking about. Catch up, as it were. Stalker talk. Johnny Randa wants some stalker talk. Yeah, this is pretty. It's weird. It kind of started off like, yeah, it seemed harmless, but also I had no perspective. Like I didn't know what harmless was, and then it got a little out of control. Uh, Armoron says that's better. The skin was too much in HD. Oh, cool. We got Pedro. We were just singing your praise, which we're not done with yet. We're not done with yet. We're going to sing some more Pedro praise. What's the deadline for the art contest? At this point, there isn't one. So get them in as soon as possible. I kind of play things by ear a lot. So I kind of set goals for myself like weekly. So I get stuff in front of me and then I deal with those. And then I get a new set of stuff. And then I put those in front of me and then I deal with those. So I figure the trading card, I can keep it open because we're not close to going to print yet. So I would say there's still a little bit of time, but don't wait too long. So I have a file where I'm putting all the artwork there. And then what I'm going to do is once I get more, I was showing a lot of it off, and I'll probably still continue to do that. But we'll show the artwork off. We'll see what you guys say, and then I'll pick 5 pieces. So I would say put some stuff together, send it out, and I'll put it with the rest of the artwork, and then we can choose. We can choose the winner, the wiener. All right, so I said I was going to show some Pedro stuff off. So Pedro's been killing it. Pedro and I have been powwowing, trying to plus the black and white high octane game. And so I believe we have succeeded. So like I said, this is like an animated adventure. And I love animation, as you can tell by the wall behind me. I collect animated cells. Yeah, I love animation, all kinds of animation. And when Pedro he did this drawing in black and white, and it was in this style, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And so then he did a little animated version of Reed running. Hold on, I'm getting a little dry throat. And so it was just so charming. It was just so amazing, and it's cool to see your creations being reinterpreted by like really talented artists. And I thought the voice was very original. I thought the style was like nothing I'd ever seen before. And quite frankly, I was just really flattered. I was really flattered by his take on the characters. So, like the slow burn, how it works is it's in the back of your head all the time. And then I was thinking, I got to use this guy for something, man. This is too good. So I had an animated deal, believe it or not, a development deal with a major animation company. This was some months back, and I had contracts and everything. And I wish I could say more, but it's just not right to say like drop names and stuff. But I'm so tempted because if I did, you guys would know who these people were. And so we were developing the stuff. We were getting like putting a Bible together, a written Bible. And then, he was saying, he was throwing out names for artists. And so he was sending their work along, and it was pretty good. And so I sent him Pedro's work. And Pedro didn't know any of this was going on at the time. I didn't want to tell him and get his hopes up. So I wanted to see, what this guy said. And so he absolutely loved it. And he said, well, let's give Pedro a shot. So Pedro, I know I've told you this, but you were definitely on the line for the black and white animated, which sadly never happened. But I do believe things happen for a reason. And Pedro and I have been talking about doing some black and white shorts together and possibly crowdfunding them and stuff like that. So you'll get this style in animated form. So absolutely fantastic. So this isn't the last that you guys are going to see of this black and white animated version of these characters. So I think this is absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I'm so flattered. Pedro's style is so it's so good, man. It's so good. This stuff always makes me smile. And thank you so much, Pedro, if you're still listening. Yeah, and in a lot of ways, I've told him this as well, that it's inspiring. Like he's kind of stepped up the world, the universe of black and white that they live in a little bit, and he brought a little bit more high tech aspects to it, which I'm always a little bit more rooted in reality. Although I do like the super fantastic, like, future stuff, especially to design it. So I think the next time you see black and white after this origin story, I'm going to bring a lot more of these elements into it. So it's going to get more over the top, and that's because of what Pedro brought to this story. So here is another piece of artwork. I don't want to show too much off because I don't want to spoil. But this is one of the slower scenes. But you can tell, man, he's got a good feel for the characters. The style is fantastic. The color is absolutely amazing. And yeah, look at this. This is great, man. He says it's kind of a chibi style. So I wasn't really familiar with a chibi style. I guess it's kind of a Japanese style. But I think it looks like its own thing. Yeah, this is fantastic. Fantastic. So I hope you guys are digging that. So that's my little Pedro praise. Um, came out so good. Came out so good. Blushing here. No, no, no. It's good stuff. It really is good stuff. So let's see. What else we have here? We have Spirits Car. How you doing, brother? We got Alan Sparks. Sup. Let's see what Spirits Car says. Hey, Art, all those guys played clips from Ed Wood. Nolan did some smack talk about Tim Burton. What are your thoughts on his films? Edward Scissorhand, Beetlejuice, Big Fish, Big Eyes, all great. Yeah, I actually enjoyed. I liked his Batman. I liked the first Batman. I thought the Bat, the Cat, and the Penguin, or whatever that was called, Batman Returns. I thought that was a little silly. I had heard that Tim Burton wasn't interested in the Batman characters as much as he was Gotham City, like a universe. Like he liked the world that he lived in, the gothic take on everything, more so than the actual character. And I think it shows in the sequel, in Batman Returns. But I liked that. The first movie, Batman Returns, was okay. I think my all-time favorite Tim Burton film, to be honest, is Big Fish. I think it's the most coherent story. I like I like all the metaphors. I like the feel of it. I like the story. I like everything about it. Um, uh, it's weird. I'm gonna. There's a lot of things I like about Tim Burton's films, but I think most of my problems with Tim Burton is just story. He's more of like a visual storyteller than an actual character, plot, things like that. Like I just don't think he's really. I don't think he's really, his strong suit is not story. He's a visual storyteller. So I think most of the best stuff that he's done has been written by somebody else. Um, but I think he's probably got more stinkers than he has hits. So I wasn't. I thought Beetlejuice was okay. Edward Scissorhands was good. I would say out of that list that you wrote, there was Big Fish. I kind of like the art direction of the Planet of the Apes that he directed. I thought it was very Tim Burton, but it felt like it was a nod to the original. There was some stuff in there that was really not well done, but I'm trying to think of the other movies. Did he do like Dark Shadows? Like he's done a bunch. You know what's weird? Like the one that he never did was like the Adams Family. He's never really done any like stuff that seems like it'd be really suited for him, like Adams Family or the Munsters or something like that. With a good script, I think he could probably pull that off. I do like his visual sensibilities. I liked The Nightmare Before Christmas. I thought that was very cool. He didn't write that, but I think his art direction was pretty strong. And I think the reason it holds up is because I don't think he wrote it or directed it. I think he had an idea and then he worked with somebody, and then they scripted it, and then somebody else directed it. I don't think Tim Burton directed that either. So I think he's a great visual storyteller, but just character stuff like that. I don't think he has much of an interest in. So I think that's what lets him down the most. But I think Big Fish is my favorite Tim Burton film. Let's see. In all honesty, I'd rather see Chrono Mechanics animated. Oh, then black and white. I kind of threw out maybe Pedro doing the next Chrono Mechanics. I've been thinking more and more about those guys. Team 9.2 of Sector 7. It's weird how those things kind of gel around in your brain. Like they never really go away, and so randomly sometimes ideas will come up, and then you write those down, and then you forget about them, and then they come back up, and you jot them down again. So yeah, we are going to do another Chrono story for sure. Frankenweenie. Frankenweenie is my favorite work from Tim Burton, even though it's a short film. You know what? I know I've seen bits and pieces of that, but I've never seen the whole thing. I think his visual storytelling is great. Um, Hold on for a sec. I'm a little congested there. Let's see. The Son of Liberty Radio says it's not stalking if I come to Woodlands to feed the gators. Um, yeah, as long as you don't feed them any of my body parts. Yeah, don't do that. I blame. Yeah, you know what? He was the weak link in it, and I thought that there was some campier stuff. Like they had a good actor playing the warrior ape. And then he kind of has this rage. He's like, he gets all crazy. And then he jumps from the horse and then he jumps onto these walls and stuff like that. And it's really bad special effects. Like it looks like bad wire work. And I know that they were trying to show like different aspects of these apes, that they could jump and then they could act more like traditional like monkeys or apes. But I thought it was weird. I did like personally, I think Planet of the Apes is cool. The original, I like the makeup. I thought it was pretty bold at the time. Personally, I like practical more than digital. So I did see the new Planet of the Apes stuff that was all digital, and I thought that they were definitely trying to make it more believable and more grounded. But I didn't enjoy it as much. I liked the kind of more over the top kind of sci-fi, aspects to it. The art direction of it, like I liked even the original, like all the art direction of the language and all the buildings and stuff like that. I thought it was really cool. And I thought it was neat that there was the orangutan character that was kind of the wise sage, and that he knew the truth and he was trying to hide it from the people, and so that they never knew. They always thought that they were the superior race, and then the truth comes out. I thought that was a great idea for a story. I think was it Rod Sterling did a draft of Planet of the Apes. Everybody thinks that he came up with the Statue of Liberty, but he didn't. I think his big contribution. I saw a whole documentary on it. Like I said, I love the franchise. Um, is that it was on our planet. I think that was Rod Sterling's contribution to the screenplay. There were several screenplays. There were a lot of different versions of it, and I think somebody had just come up with uh, that it needed an ending, and came up with the Statue of Liberty or something like that. And so that became like that iconic image, you damn dirty apes, we did it, or whatever, No, no, he says, GD, you to hell. Like he's basically damning the human race. I think that's what he was doing, because in the documentary they also talk about how what was the actor's name, how he changed the dialogue. That was his dialogue, and he said, what did you want him to say, like, oh crap, or whatever, like he said, oh, I don't think they liked the cursing. And so he said, what else would there be to say? He said, this is the only thing you would say, And so he actually sold the studio on it. And I'm glad he did, because I think it really fits. Um, but what's Charlton Heston? Yeah. I thought that was really good. And that they brought that into the Mark Wahlberg version as well, that they were hiding the truth from the new population, the new dominant species, that they had basically, I guess, kind of came from humans, that they weren't the dominant species. I don't think I don't think in this version they said it was Earth. I think it was definitely a planet of the apes. It wasn't our world that they inhabited. And then I think at the end they felt, I think because I had a friend that worked on the movie, he did makeup, but he didn't do the ape makeup, which I'm sure he would have liked to. He actually did Mark Wahlberg's makeup on the in the movie, and so he said that they test screened the movie and they didn't have that end where Wahlberg goes back up in the ship and goes back to his, what he thinks is his time, but then he realizes, or he goes there and he sees that it's an alternate version of his world that is ruled by apes. I thought that one didn't work as much, because then it says, like, it brings up all kinds of weird questions, like, is this group of apes that eventually developed a world so similar to our world, because there's like this Abraham Lincoln statue and it pans up and you think it's Abraham Lincoln, and then it's got an ape head. It's like Abraham Lincoln or something. And it just doesn't work, man. I thought that ending kind of failed. I know what they were going for, and I think it was just to appease the fans that felt like it needed that kind of ending, but it was definitely shoehorned in. And I don't think it served that story that they were trying to tell at that moment in time. So I do think part of it was Mark Wahlberg. I think, to me, he's always been flat. I don't really think he's a great actor. I've liked him in some roles, but not most. And anything that has to involve more than just an action kind of aspects to it, I don't think he does very well. So I do think if they would have got a different actor in there, it might have been a better movie. Also, the ending, but I really did like the art direction. I don't know, man. I don't know about this. I kind of like the Munsters. I do realize that the TV show was a one-hit wonder, but if you think, like one note, like it's always the same story every week. But I thought the concept was pretty cool. And I think as a one-off movie, it would work better than a series. But I don't know if Rob Zombie has the right sensibilities for it, because there's humor in it, and I think you have to have some kind of humor. And also, I would like to see somebody that has a stronger visual sense. I don't think Rob Zombie is a visual director. I think he would probably make it more of a horror story. Wow, we're going on. Tim Burton, tangents are the best parts of life. Burton was actually heavily influenced in developing the story with Danny Elfman. Someone else came in to write out the story. Big Eyes was also great from Tim Burton, recommended. I never saw that. I got to see that then. Pedro, what did you think of the nonstop motion full length adaptation? Oh, a Frankenweenie? I never saw either one. Alan Sparks says the town of Spectre set from Big Fish is still standing. It's dilapidated, but it's on a small island. Oh, really? In North Alabama, a lake in North Alabama. I wonder why they put it. Um, oh, I guess because of the water. Yeah. Pedro says the script fell short on that one. Not too much meat on the story. I'm not sure which movie you're talking about. Tim Roth, that's the guy, was phenomenal. Yeah. I thought he was great. He's always good. And the first Harry Potter movie for it. Whoops. Oh no. Wow. Well, who would have thought, right? I mean, they're both really iconic franchise. Um, at least the Planet of the Apes was, I think, more of a proven, decades and decades of success with Planet of the Apes. Who would have thought like a franchise like Planet of the Apes would have just became part of like the zeitgeist, pop culture. Plan to go camping there maybe this spring or summer. Yeah, there's a lot of campgrounds and stuff around here. I think my neighbor in the back takes his kids out in the springtime as well. Pedro says a General Thade from Planet of the Apes, played by Tim Roth, was the highlight of the movie. Indeed, and that they actually turned Charlton Heston. I think he was his dad into an ape. I thought that was the cool beat. It wasn't that stupid ending. I thought the cool beat was actually Charlton Heston, as the old ape that knew everything. Like he knew the past. I think he was hiding it from that General Thade character, the Tim Roth, his character, and God, maybe I think I own that movie. I should watch it again. It's probably worse than I remember, but it might be interesting to watch it. You blew it, you maniacs! Yeah, Charlton Heston. How could you forget that art? Uh, I managed to bring it back. I saw. I think I saw both of those. I saw Planet of the Apes and Beneath the Planet of the Apes in the theater. Yeah, a neighbor's dad took a bunch of us kids out. I don't think he knew what he was taking us to go see. A lot of the kids were older. I think I was the youngest, and I remember there was that scene in Beneath. I think it was Beneath the Planet of the Apes, where they had those humans that were all like, I guess they were like from the Fallout or something like that. Their skin was all pale, and you could see their veins and stuff. Those guys creeped me out, but I think they were locked up in like some kind of prison, and to get out, I think the one character swung open the door, and I think it impaled one of those dudes on the door. And I remember like, oh shit, like that was the most violence I'd ever seen, my young life had ever seen, and I was like, wow, yeah, that was crazy. The original book Planet of the Apes was based on, yeah, they were on another's alien planet. Tim Burton followed the book ending. Oh, okay, not the very ending, because I don't think any of that, like the Statue of Liberty, that twist ending, I don't think that was in the original book, from what I understand. But yeah, it was an actual Planet of the Apes. So in the 70s version, or whenever that was made, the original, then they turned it like that it was our planet, which I thought was a good twist. He will always be Marky Mark. It was closer to the original novel. Yeah, I never read the novel, although I do know that, yeah, it was literally a Planet of the Apes. Like it was never like our world. Oh my gosh, you guys love the Planet of the Apes. Look at all this. Have to disagree with you. There are. Have you seen House of a Thousand Corpse? Highly visual, psychedelic look to that film. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. That's funny. I had to take naps after school, so I would watch Planet of the Apes on the late movie. Let me see. You guys are really House of a Thousand Corpse took a lot from White Zombie's album covers. If I remember correctly, I think Rob Zombie drew those. Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, Beneath was trippy. It was weird. Also, the original novel was basically the verse of Escape from the Planet of the Apes with Zira and Cornelius. Man, I wish I still had time. That's one of the books that I do wish I would have read when I had more downtime when I was younger, when I was a younger lad. Okay, well let's get into this. Okay, so wow, Planet of the Apes talk, that was pretty cool. You guys are really into that stuff. Um, so this was a while back. This was a while back. So this is probably early 80s, like maybe 84, 85. So I had just broke into the comic business, and I believe it was the San Diego Comic Con. So it was my first really big convention. I think it was my first convention as a pro, actually. So I believe I was working on the Aquaman, Aqualad, Teen Titans Spotlight book. I think I had just finished that up. So I was sitting in Artist Alley, and this was the San Diego Comic Con, but this was before it was huge. This was at the old Civic Center, so it was a lot smaller. It was a lot more intimate, and they always had an Artist Alley, which to they might have even created the Artist Alley idea. So just to paint the picture of what Artist Alley, like my little corner was. So I was here. Kevin McGuire was to my right. No. Mark Pasella was to my right. Kevin McGuire was on the other side. Jim Lee was on my left. And I do think it was Will Spertasio and then Scott Williams. And then in the corner, when it started, was Bill Sienkiewicz. And I remember Bill Sienkiewicz. It was so weird. I'm not sure that I got this right, that I remember it right, or that I even took it in accurately. But he was doing commissions. He was doing drawings at the table. And so I'm not sure if he was charging for them. In the day, like we never charged. We just drew for people and gave them away for free. And charging is fairly recent at conventions. Which is good because I made a little bit of bank in the day, man. I would be rich. I gave away so many drawings. But anyway, so Bill had this shoebox kind of thing, and it had all kinds of reference in it. And I think what he was doing, like if you wanted an Electro Assassin, he had a little tab and he would pull it out, and it was a drawing of the Electro Assassin. And I think that he put it under something, tracing paper. I don't know what it was. And then he would just ink it. So he wasn't drawing them from scratch. He was just kind of doing this Bill Sienkiewicz, kind of ink style over it. And then he was, like I said, I don't know if he was selling them or if he was giving them away. If he was just giving them away, that's not a big deal. But I thought it was interesting that that he was tracing them. And I don't know if anybody's seen this, before. Let me know in the chat, because I'm not really sure what he was doing, to be honest. I just know that there were pre-done pieces of artwork that either he was pulling out and then just looking at it and copying it, or that he was literally tracing it. So I'm not sure what he was doing, but I mean, he had a stack of drawings that were already done, and I thought it was interesting. I mean, it's definitely a way that you could put out more work. Like you just, it's already pre-done, and you're just kind of like going over the lines. So I thought that was one of my first like, whoa, that's interesting. And so I mean, I'm kind of wedged between, Mark and Jim Lee. And so, we're just sitting there doing drawings and just hanging out. And we were the new guys. Like, I think Jim had I think he was working on Alpha Flight. So I think he just started Alpha Flight at the time. So, he was good, but he wasn't like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like anybody else. Like it seemed like it was as good as anybody else there in Artist Alley at the time, but it was really, really good. And then Mark Pasella was working on, I think Mr. Monster was the comic. Like Mark did a lot of indie books before his X-Men stuff and before Image. And so yeah, we're just hanging out. We're just having a good time. I've said this before, where I every day I would bring a cooler to Artist Alley, and I had it filled with liquor, mostly beer, and so we would just sit, and I had styrofoam cups, and I just pour it, and uh, Jim hung out and drank. Mark did, and I think Kevin maybe had a beer with us, but we kept it hidden, and we were all respectable. And so everything's going along good. And so then this guy walks up, and I still remember his name to this day. His name was Mike Lovins. Mike Lovins. And so just a normal kind of, seemingly, he was a little awkward, I should say, but for a comic convention, not out of place, right? So he walks up, and he's just talking, just asking questions about drawings and stuff like that. And then he was mostly talking to Mark, and so I think Mark had just kind of lost patience with the guy. He was just like, okay, because that guy was there for a long time, maybe, talking to him for 20 minutes, a half hour. And so then he said, do you mind if I show you some of my work? So then Mark was just like, oh, okay. And not Mick, no, not that. Mike Lovins wasn't like wasn't one of the Beach Boys names Lovin or Love? Mike Love was, I think, one of the Beach Boys. But anyways, so Mark just like, and I didn't know Mark prior. Like Mark and I are good friends now, probably lifelong friends at this time of our life. But oh, I'm sorry, I'm just seeing some of this stuff. Jim Lee overrated. Fight me. I think he's great. I think he's really good. I think that's funny though. So anyway, yeah, Mark is just like trying to, show this guy some tips, right? And so the guy is, I guess, not getting it. I don't know what Mark, but I could tell he was getting frustrated with this guy, right? And so Mark just, like I said, I didn't know him very well. We partied every night after the show and stuff like that. So we got to know each other, and I think we forged a lifelong friendship at that con. Um, so he just goes, "Hey Art, I know what would really help this guy. What if you inked over his pencils, and then you could kind of like show him like how to like do anatomy, maybe like fix his drawings or whatever." And so I was just like, oh my gosh, like he just put me on the spot, right? That was Mark's gift. Mark's gift was like, he would put you right on the spot. And so I was like, yeah, sure, okay. So I had a marker, and so I was just talking as I asked him. I don't just draw over people's work, but I asked him, if it was fine, if it was cool. He said, sure, sure. So I did. I spent a lot of time with the guy, And so he was very appreciative, and he thanked us for the time, and he went away. So we didn't think anything of it. I didn't think anything of it. I had nothing to relate it to. Like I said, this was like my first, real convention. And so the end of the show, it's the last day of the show. I'm packing up my stuff to go home. It's Sunday. And so I'm starting to walk away, and he runs over to me. He's running over to me, and he goes, "Oh, thank God, thank goodness, probably. I saw you before you left." He goes, "I wanted to give you something," and I was like, "You want to give me something?" And he's like, "Sure." I go, "You don't need to. It's fine." He goes, "Well, you helped me a lot, and I appreciate it." So I was like, "Okay." And so he pulled out of his bag a Bible, a Mormon Bible, and he wrote in it, "Thank you so much for spending time with me, Mike Lovins." And so I was like, "Okay, thank you," you know, and um, and that was that. But I have to back up a little bit. In the early days, and this is advice to anybody that's listening, I had business cards. I had them on the table, and they had not just my phone number, but it had my address on it as well. So just a rookie mistake, just a rookie mistake. So anybody could pick up your card. My idea was like they could hire me for a job, but they could also do other things, which is what this guy did with the information. So I I go back home. I lived in Huntington Beach at the time. I had a roommate, and my roommate, I was going through all my stuff, and then I'm putting it on the table, and he's like, "What's that?" And I said, "This guy gave me this Mormon Bible," and he said, and then he opened it up, and he saw that it was like, personalized. And then he said, you don't want this. And he threw it in the trash. And so I was just like, I mean, it didn't really mean anything to me. I'm not Mormon. I was never going to read the book. I just felt like, well, he gave it to me, so whatever. I didn't know, to be honest, I didn't know what I was going to do with the book. But anyways, he throws it away. And I think instinctively he kind of knew that this was getting into crazy town, like this was a little nutty stuff, right? And so I just continue my life. I'm drawing, I'm working, I'm trying to make a living. And so then I got a letter. This is why I said pen pal, right? So I get a letter from this guy, Mike Lovins, and he's sending me stuff like, "Hey, been thinking a lot about the con and blah blah blah." So he just basically wanted to open a dialogue with me. Like I said, I had never experienced anything like this before, so I felt it was completely harmless. And I don't want to make it sound like it was sinister, like what happened, inevitably, but it did ramp up. And so, you know, I never wrote back to the guy, so he would keep writing me, and he would send me artwork and stuff like that, and I never responded to him. And then he said in one of the letters, he goes, "You know what?" Because it's a lot of effort to write these letters. And he'd send me his artwork, and he kind of wanted correspondence, right? He wanted me to do the same thing that I did over his work at San Diego. And so I never really did. And so then he said, "You know what? I think it would be better if I was to call you." So then he started phone calling me. And this was over months. This is over several months, right? So I didn't really encourage it. Um, but when the phone rings, you pick up the phone, right? So I picked up the phone just thinking it was one of my friends or one of my roommates' friends or whatever. And it was Mike Lovins. And I was like, oh shit. I think that's where I first was like, this is not normal, right? This is pen paling is one thing, but also pen paling with no response is crazy. Like, why would you just keep writing these letters when you're not hearing back from anybody? And so when I picked up the phone call, he was so excited, because he had been writing me for months. You know what I mean? He was like, you never wrote back. I was worried about you. Or that you had moved or something like that. Like, just just kind of strange, but very like concerned, but concerned in a way like that you were friends, which we weren't. So uh, um, this went on for a while, and then the phone rang, and my roommate picked it up, and he said, "Who is this?" And the guy goes, "Mike Lovins." And so then he handed me the phone, like, and then after um, the phone call, my roommate was like he was a little older than I was, a little bit more worldly, I guess, than I was. He goes, "This is not good." He goes, you shouldn't encourage this guy. I said, I'm not really encouraging him. It just, when he calls, you know, I it, if there was no way to really screen at the time, and so um, he said, you just need to stop this. And so um, I started hanging out with Chaikin. I met John Moore. John Moore, I think, lived in Huntington Beach, or he lived around that area. He grew up kind of in the neighborhood that I was living now. And so I think he was visiting some friends or something like that. And I don't know how we met, but we met, and he wrote comic books. And he worked with Howard Chaykin in the Chaykin Studios. He was Howard's writing partner. And so they did Flag together, American Flag, and some other things. And so, we're, I don't know how does John, where was I going with it? So John came over. Oh, that's right. Okay. So the Chaikin stuff. So then I started hanging out, in the Chaikin studio as well. John and I later became roommates. I moved to Manhattan Beach, where he had an apartment. But that's a tale for another time. And so I would tell this Mike Lovins, when I would accidentally pick up, and I said to him that I was hanging out with Chaikin. And so he said, "Oh, Howard Chaikin?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "He's evil." I go, "What?" He goes, "He did this book called Black Kiss, and he's not a good guy, Art. He's getting real, like, weirdly, like, you need to stay away from him, you know." And he goes, "That guy he's not pure, and he's got bad intent and stuff like that, and you need to stay away from him." And just to back up as well, he would talk about his mother a lot, because I guess he was raised by his mother, and she's part of the church, I think. But anyways, it was getting weirder, right? So I'm getting to learn more about his private life, his personal life, things like that, his viewpoints on the world, So he's now kind of getting into my life. He's telling me who I should be friends with, who I shouldn't, things like that. So, I told him at the end of that conversation, I said, I said, I can't talk to you anymore. I said, don't write me, don't call me anymore. I said, you kind of crossed the line here, with telling me who I could be friends with and who I can't. And I said, I don't appreciate that. And I can't hang out with you anymore. And so he was like, okay. And so the letters stopped, and the phone call stopped. Oh, also in the letters, he would send me photographs of himself. I don't know why. He just sent me pictures. It was getting a little too weird. Like, it was weird from the get-go, but it started getting weirder. with just like getting into personal like life and things like that, and then trying to like preach to me like what I should be doing, what I shouldn't, who I should hang out with, who I shouldn't, stuff like that. So I thought it was done. He seemed to handle it okay. I thought it was done. I thought, I'm done with Mike Lovins. Everything is fine. I'll go on to my life. Everything will be okay. And so, um, the little community of Huntington Beach isn't that big. It's a pretty small little beach town. Surf City is what it's called. And so I was running errands, and so it wouldn't be uncommon to kind of drive past your own apartment going from point A to point B, right? So I think I was going to the post office, and then I was crossing over, I think, to go to lunch, to my favorite restaurant on the beach. And so I drove past my own apartment, and oh, let me get this. Thank you so much, Master of Boobs, for the super chat. $1.99. Plot twist. Lou Ferrigno gave him your address. Oh my gosh. This guy was tall and lanky, but I think I could have taken him. Man, if somebody Lou Ferrigno's size was to stalk me, oh my gosh, that would be scary. Let me see. Let me take a little bit of a break here. Story time with Archie Bear should be a weekly show. What is this? Only Cecil will receive cold water. And now we have Discord. Yes. Art survived the end. Yeah, I'm still here. What? Fearsome Bullet. Remember that Ethan wants to move you all into his home just to watch you shower. When did he say that? Ah, what was he wearing in the photos? He was just kind of your standard kind of uptight nerd. Like, I want to say that he had a sports jacket on. So he was like very, I guess, weirdly well groomed, hair like perfectly parted to the side, not a hair out of place. Just the most uncool guy you could ever like. I was still from the rock and roll school, so just loose and always like trying to be cool. This guy was completely the opposite of that. I think he even had like a powder blue like sports jacket on. He might have even wore a tie, just like really tightly wound kind of dude. He had kind of sandy brown hair, pale. I later found, well, I'm not gonna. There's other things I found out. Okay, so did he show you his dirty fellows? No, no. It didn't get as bad as all that. It sounds like SJWs now. He could have been a precursor to that. Oh, Johnny Rando, this was a while back in the chat. You already brought the Chaikin thing. Is you must have mind read. Mother does not approve of Chaikin. He's Carrie's brother. He's Carrie, the Stephen King Carrie. Oh, it was, yeah. He was, you know what? That's not bad. He was kind of a Carrie type, very soft spoken, very, hey, Art, yeah. You don't want to be doing that. That's not good. Creepy pasta features the artist and the fan. Uptight nerd, stop talking about me. Anybody that's hanging out with CG and myself is not an uptight nerd. Oh, I see. Art just hates nerds. No, 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 no. Now you guys are turning on me. More secrets about the lovins. Kiz says, kind of sounds like a guy with borderline personality disorder. Mother said you shouldn't be friends with men like Art. I think it was more of that. I think he was a shut in. I think he was very sheltered, a very sheltered guy that had probably a very strict religious upbringing. So I think it was more of that than anything else. Um, definitely no encounters with the opposite sex. I mean, I guess pure as the driven snow is maybe a way to refer to him at as okay. So this is we took a break. This is where it gets absolutely insane as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so I'm driving past my own apartment to go to my favorite lunch eatery, and so I drive past the apartment. There's a guy sitting on the curb, right? Like the apartment was like one of those like beach bungalows where it had like it was just a wooden frame building, and it had like think of the monkeys, like it looked like that, where it had like a little staircase, and then there were apartments on the top, and it was just kind of like stacked up, nothing to write home about, flat roof, and but we had a view of the beach. It was really cool. And so there's this guy sitting on the curb with a portfolio. And so I was driving by, and I had to slow down because I had to know who this guy was. And as soon as I slowed down, this guy jumps off the curb and runs at my car. Art, Art, Art. Like he's just yelling my name. And I'm like, oh shit. This is that Mike Lovins guy. um, he lived he lived in Utah. This guy was a Utah Mormon, probably born and raised, and he had one of those like big portfolios, those big. Oh my gosh, he's running out in the street. And he's like yelling my name, flagging me down, Art, Art, and I'm like, oh shit, that's that guy. I hadn't seen or heard of him in probably 6 months. I mean, this has probably gone on for close to a year, like all the letters, the phone calls, and then finally this. Uh, so there was a big lapse of time between the time that I told him I didn't want to see him or talk to him again to this. So he apparently just took the phone call thing and the letters to heart, but not like personal, appearances. And so he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Where are you going?" And I go, "Well, I'm going to lunch." He goes, "Well, I brought my portfolio. I want you to look at it." He's like, "Do you have time?" And I was like, God, I'm such a softy, man. And so I said, "Get in." I said, I go, "I'll look at your portfolio during lunch, and after that, you have to go, right? Like you have to go back home or whatever." And he said, "Understood." He said, "I appreciate it." So he bought me lunch, which was good. I was a poor, starving artist, so I appreciated that. Like, and I looked at his portfolio. I kept my word, and it was really weird. It was really awkward. He had told me that I had to ask him. I was like, "Where's your car?" He said, because he said he drove. I said, "Where's your car?" I said, "It's not in the parking lot, or it's not around here." Um, and he said, "My brother was coming to California, so I hitched a ride, and he's somewhere in LA or whatever, so I took buses to your house, and then I walked." I was like, "Oh my gosh." I said, "You took buses from LA, and then the bus as close as you could get to my apartment, and then you walked the rest of the way?" And he said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, the the dedication of this guy, like, you know, like I said, I didn't have any perspective. I didn't even really know what a stalker was at the time. I since then, people drop the stalker thing all the time, but I didn't really know too much about any of this stuff. I didn't know the level that fans or I guess he's a fan. Like I refer to people that like my work as readers, or supporters, but not really fans because I think it's a little derogatory. But I think he definitely, fan obsession fits that category, or yeah, gets into that category. So anyway, so holy crap! So this very very awkward lunch. I keep my word. He keeps his. He picks up the tab. So go back to my apartment. I said, you got to go now, right? You're going to leave. And he said, yeah, yeah. And so, oh, free lunch. Well, that's different. I tell you, man, I was such a starving artist. Goodness gracious. I'm your biggest fan, McLovin. Um, Art's luck. It could have been a hot female, but it wasn't. Uh, got some stories about stuff like that, but that's a tale for another time. Oh my God! Some person says he then said, "Does this smell like chloroform?" he was he was not. I don't know. They say the quiet ones are the ones you really need to worry about. But for some reason, I never really was scared like that this guy was going to physically do anything. Like it was just weird. It was just weird and awkward and uncomfortable. More so than like I thought it would be life threatening. So I told him, you got to go now. I went back to work. And so I did that. I just plopped down at my drawing board and worked. And so my roommate, he worked like night shift. He worked opposite hours that I did. So he was coming back from work, I think, and he's walking up the stairs, and he knew what Mike looked like because Mike would send me pictures, right? And I would share them with all my weirdo friends, and like, isn't this weird? Isn't this weird? And you have to because you're in disbelief, right? Just like telling this story now. And so he looked, or when he came up, he's like, did you know Mike Lovins? Because all my friends knew his name. Do you know Mike Lovins, that stalker dude? He's downstairs. He's sitting on the curb. And it was getting dusk. It was probably 5 or 6 hours from the time we had lunch that he was sitting on this curb. And who knows how long he was out there before I drove past the house. So um, he's down there sitting at the curb. And so my roommate was like, what did you do? Like, what's going on? Is that the guy? And I said, yeah, that's the guy. And so I told him everything. He said this is not good. This is not good. And so we just kind of, at that point, we just kept looking down the window because we could see from the apartment, we could see where he was. And so sure enough, he was still sitting on the curb when my roommate came home from work. And so I think for maybe the next half hour, he was sitting there, and then he was gone. So a car picked him up. I can only assume it was his brother, and they went back to Utah. So I wish I could say that was the last I'd ever seen of this guy, but it's not. And so it's just weird, man. The dedication, I think, was the strange thing. Just the tenacity, and just I don't know what he was thinking. Because he never asked me for work. He never said, how do you break into the business? He never said anything like that. So it wasn't like he was like, hey man, can you get me some, recommend me to your friends at Marvel or DC or whatever. It was never like that. It was always just kind of like, hey, how you doing? This is what I'm doing today. What are you doing? My mom said this. Here's a picture of me. Just weird stuff. Here's a drawing. What do you think? It was stuff like that. Um, Run. But the thought kept occurring to me, like, the guy's got my phone number, he's got my address. The apartment, like, we lived at the beach, so the front door was always open. I mean, when we weren't there, if somebody was there, the front door was always open to get the beach breeze coming in. And so yeah, I mean, if it was more intense, if this guy really wanted bodily harm, I don't think it would have been hard to do. So this is probably a few years later, maybe even like 8 years or 10 years later, right? Because I'm already, let me think, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe 6 years into my career. So I'm working at Marvel on X books and stuff like that. So it was, once again, it was the San Diego Comic Con, and now it's bigger and badder than ever. And I'm at a panel. I'm at a panel, and I think it's some X-Men panel or something like that. And so we're all kind of coming up to the table and stuff like that. We're all being introduced. And so I looked down, and the first row, strangely, right in front of me, is Mike Lovins. Yep, Mike Lovins. So he was still lurking. We didn't interact. We didn't talk. He didn't come up to me or anything like that. But he was there. So I don't know if he's still around. I don't know if he's listening right now. But just a big time comic book fan, and just latched on to me for whatever reason. So I guess sometimes kindness, people can misread your kindness, I guess, and think that maybe there's a deeper connection. I think that it was more of that. Like, I think that I was nice to the guy, and maybe a lot of people weren't. Mark was up to a certain point, but you could even see that he didn't have patience with the guy. So there you go. There you go. So I do think it was probably more of that somebody that was working in the comic industry was nice to him, and that he just latched onto it for all it was worth. Lurkin Lovins, I'm lurking now. Fanatic. It was always kind of harmless, but I think when somebody shows up at your doorstep, it's crossing the line. Like pen pal stuff, the letters was what, it was okay. But then, it gets into, phone calls, and, it just kind of just ramped up to being completely unacceptable is the word. Okay, Rumham says Mike now goes under the pen name of Mark Brooks. If Mike Lovins became Mark Brooks, I'll tell you, I'm going to take full credit for it, because Mark Brooks isn't a bad artist. So I would say that Mark Brooks owes me big time. What about Lovins is listed right now with his red light on and photos of art all around him. No, 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 no. Wait. I didn't get the some persons. Damn, that's a good point. Watch him closely. The real art might be dead and in the closet. Yeah, for all you know, I am Mike Lovins. There you go. Cam says, moral of the story: never be a nice guy. I do. I am who I am. I can't really change that. So there have been people like Walden Wong and different people that have said, when they were breaking in, that they thanked me later and said how kind I was, and I spent so much time, at a convention going over their inks and stuff like that. So, for every, I guess, you know, Mike Lovins, there's a Walden Wong and stuff like that. So, I think I have a better record, with the good things than the bad. So, and also, I mean, it was just more of a strange, interesting story to tell. Now that I have, versus, there was no blood spilled, there was no fires, there was no poisoning, there was nothing like that. Uh, uh, General Piggy says, for 4.99 super chat, thank you so much. I'm glad you remember me. So, oh no. That's good, man. That is good. Well, hey, Mike, thanks for the 4.99. I appreciate it. uh, Someone please create a Mike Lovins account in the chat. No, you guys suck. Now you guys are going to bring back some scar tissue. The man on the stream right now is actually Mike Lovins. Oh, yeah, plot twist. Yeah. Um, I like this, but yeah, like I said, I am who I am. So yeah, don't feed stray dogs. I'm a lot more guarded now. So the one thing I have learned is like I'm not that generous with everybody. So I try to like pick and choose more of who I'm going to be nice to, but or who I'm going to be that generous with as far as like art, lessons and things like that, and just spending some serious time with. Um, so who knows? Who knows? Like I said, it's the only thing I really know how to do. You know, some people can be um, downright rude to people at conventions. I just can't do that. That's true. I never replied. Yeah, he kept sending them. But you know what? The thing is, like, I got some twisted friends, Kevin, and I'll tell you, like, when my dirtbag friends, my drinking friends would come over and we would just party. Those letters were endless fun. They said, "You get a new letter today." I go, "Yeah, this one has a photograph or whatever." You know what I mean? Like, um, we did have some laughs at his expense, I guess. You know, so I don't know. I don't know. It was a little strange. And one of the things is a friend of mine that would come over and we would hang out, and he was infatuated with the letters, and so he's an actor. He's been in a couple things, and he's a childhood friend. And so he asked me if he could have the letters, and so I guess he was a bit of a what do they call those method actors. So he said, if I ever get a role, like this, I'll pull from this experience, and and bring that to my acting. And I was like, sure, you can have them, knock yourself out. I wonder if he still has those letters. That would be weird. I could read those on the live stream. Thank you, Frankie says, I don't even want my friends to show up without giving me a heads up. That's true. Yeah, we live in a different time though. Bugging at a con is one thing. Home is sacred. Yeah, yeah. Is that what kept EVS from being a creep? He only wrote pen pal letters to old timey celebrities, but never showed up at their homes. Maybe. Critical Blast says, play cosplayed as either black or white. Wow, why was that so hard to read? Um, well, I got a lot of interaction with you guys in the chat. You guys woke up, between the Planet of the Apes conversation and the Stalker stuff. Shh, don't expose my secrets. You're gonna play this for all it's worth, aren't you, Mike Lovins? Or General Piggy, aka Mike Lovins. I already kind of did. He was He was probably a foot taller than me. So he was easily 6 foot. Um, he was lanky, and he dressed like in a leisure suit. Like, and I swear, he wasn't completely. Well, I'm trying to be a nice guy right now. He wore like Levi's, I think, um, but that makes him sound a little cool. And then he had like a light blue, like pastel, uh, like jacket on, like leisure jacket. I don't know what they call those things. And I do believe he had a white dress shirt on, like collar, and it was buttoned all the way up. And so he was pale skinned and just really skinny, really really skinny, and very he talked slow and exact and very monotone. Hey Art, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're a good guy. Oh man, I might be making this up, but he's like, I'll never forget you and what you've done for me. Yeah, it was a little off-putting, but you know what? I mean, you meet all kinds of strange people at conventions, so it kind of comes with the territory. I try not to judge too much, you know, at least initially. I think it's fun to talk about later. Like, do you remember that guy who was dressed like Conan? He was about 300 pounds overweight, didn't have a shirt on, and had like a cheesy aluminum foil like sword. You know, like there's stuff like that. The Gordon Goodbrother channel. I hope Lovins found his way and had a bunch of Mormon brats. He would have to find the strangest girl, I think, like a nice, really low key Mormon girl. I don't know who else. I know that they say there's somebody for there's always somebody out there for even the weirdest, strangest person. So he probably did find somebody, but she'd have to be equally as strange, or just very I don't know, able to deal with it. I don't know. Oh no, Tank Fair says the walls of Lovin's house are decorated with lipstick and pictures of art. No. Ugh, no. No. Jasper Plan 9 says RT Bear, I got my 9-year-old the new Ultimate Spider-Man omnibus and the Jim Lee X-Men omnibus. He's excited that you created on both omnibuses. Oh, that's cool, man. Those are good books too. Those are good books for a 9-year-old. I think like probably like I started comics when I was probably about 5. So I always say probably I'm saying probably a lot. 7 to 16 are probably the prime like comic book ages. Um, to read. I knew somebody was going to do it. Well, anyway, Mike, if this is truly the Mike Lovins that we know and love, hope you're doing well. I hope everything's good. I hope you found like a fantastic young lady to settle down with, and like somebody in the chat said, have a bunch of little Mormon children. I hope you're still drawing, keeping the love going. And yeah, you gave me years of stories to tell. So thank you, Mike Lovins. If this indeed is the real Mike Lovins. Hell, Mike Lovins. He's in the chat. There he is, Art. Are you in the house? He's calling from in the house. This was a great story. You guys made it even better with the Mike Lovin stuff. Yeah. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much, Randy Howe, for the super chat. Art needs a little lovin'. Thank you, man. Yeah, I gotta get going. I'm gonna do some work, but I do have one more thing I want to show you. Maybe this we'll use this as a palate cleanser. And if you guys could, please, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If or just check, because sometimes YouTube will unsubscribe, and then make sure you're still um, there for the hit the bell for notifications. So for the notifications, and also if you guys could all give a thumbs up, I would appreciate that. And maybe even if you have friends of like strange stalker comic book stalker stories, tweet this out and see if we can get some traffic in later. I'm going to start trying to YouTube a little bit more. But I really do want to focus on getting black and white done for you guys. The book is coming out great. I'm really happy with the work. I usually don't talk this confident about my own work, but I'm really happy with this. I think it's great. Oh, so that tower in the image, that's where you live? Once again, man, Mike, you're sucking me into your life. Stop giving me giving me stories. So Mike once again has found his way into my life. John Travolta. John Travolta, is he Mormon? I thought he was Scientologist. He was a Scientologist. Another moral of the story from Jeff Potts. The moral of the story, if you're going to be stalked, make sure they pay for lunch. I got something out of it. I'm still here. Was it at least a good lunch? You know what? I don't think it was. I think I was really kind of nervous. I was a little nervous that this guy right here was going to hurt me. Damn you, look at it. Oh, shit. I'm going to have nightmares tonight. Let me see. Master Boobs, thank you for the super chat. Andy Starenko stories. No, I've done shows that he was a guest of, but I never met him face to face. Sadly, he was a foot taller than me. He was easily 6 foot. Oh, stop! I wasn't getting exact. No. Like, yeah, that is weird. That is weird that I said a foot taller than me. He was easily 6 foot, meaning he was probably 5-6 inches taller than me. All right, are you happy now? I clarified for you. Wait a minute. Is General Piggy Mike Lovins, or is Mike Lovins Mike Lovins? So now General Piggy as Mike Lovins is saying, I've gained 50 pounds of muscle since then. All right, now I have concern. Levi's are very cool. They were cool for that guy. I'm not going to say this out loud, but that's funny. Oh my gosh. Now I'm a professional auctioneer? Why auctioneer? What? No. Are you serious? Well, there's probably a bunch of Mike Lovins. So it might not be the same guy. So you just typed in his name? Let me type in his name and see what shows up. I would probably recognize him. Okay. Mike Lovins, born and raised in South Dakota, Rapid City. He came to Texas. No. Wait, Mike There's a Mike Lovins. What is this? Mike? Oh, shit. Mike Lovins is a commercial illustrator with a background in concept design and storyboards, born and raised in Los Angeles. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I found him too. Oh my God! You guys have to tweet this out now, man. We got some closure here. All right, you guys. Oh, my nose is running. I don't want to blow my nose on a live stream. Oh shit! Oh my gosh, this is too funny. All right. Um, this is I could go back, but this says it all. So this is what is this? Um, I can't read the convention, but it's a convention ad. Well, he's not bad. So I guess he stuck with it. So that face right there, that's the guy. He's older, but that's the guy. Okay, so when I read this, you'll see that it works with everything I've said. Okay, Mike Lovins is a commercial illustrator with a background in concept design and storyboards, born, raised in Los Angeles and Salt Lake City, Utah. Graduated from Utah State University with an emphasis in the arts. Projects have included television software development, advertising, and comic books. Mike's creator-owned comic book, We Go Anywhere, can be read online at the link doesn't work. Let me go. Well, I'm going to come back to the stream. I don't want to. I'm going to see if I can find his comic book. Oh shit! You guys. Oh man! The chat is going crazy. Invite him to CG. Oh my gosh! I bet he would come on. I got to see his artwork first. Like I said, I mean, I never really held him. Um, he never. I think he really was just a guy that wanted to get better and just didn't really know. Like, there's a lot of people that don't understand social cues and are kind of like socially a little strange in comics. Invite him to the CG Kings. Let me see. Okay, so let me go back and see. Oh shit. Okay. Let me try this again. Okay. Mike Lovins. I'm gonna say comic. Oh, that the only thing that shows up really is that convention comic book artist. Okay, let's see. Okay, Mike Lovins, comic book artist. Images. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's the dude. We go anywhere. Oh my gosh. Oh. Wow. Where do I begin? Where do I begin? This is weird. Okay, Mike Lovins, artist. Um, news all. He's got a blog. Meet the USU alumnus making comics, Mike Lovins. Pinterest. I'm trying to find something with just his artwork in it. Okay, here it is. The Daily Cartoonist. Oh, there's a video too. Hold on. Wow. I think I've met a lot of interesting people in my lifetime. Okay, you guys should be seeing this now. So this is Mike's comic book. So this is on the Daily Cartoonist, the source for industry news for the professional cartoonist. profiled Mike Lovins and We Go Anywhere. Okay. Wow. He's not bad. This is his artwork. It's kind of looks a little Neil Adamsy. If that's him, I don't think that's him though. I think that's somebody else on the cover. With the Salt Lake Comic Con over, it's been good to see the local press highlight some of our local talent. City Weekly did a Q&A with Mike Lovins, who does the online series We Go Anywhere. It's an online series. Let me see. No. Let me go back. Okay, so this is a Q&A. There's a video. Let me play the video. So far, a lot of environments. I think he drew one thing. Yeah, this isn't the same guy that drew the cover. This looks more like his stuff. But it looks like he kept the dream alive. That's cool. Well, it doesn't look like a lot's happening here. He's not bad. If he's inking, he's pretty, he's pretty solid. We Go Anywhere. All right. Well, there you go. Alive and kicking. Let me see. Yeah, this is, I don't know who drew this, but that's not Mike Lovins. Mike Lovins' profile on Pinterest. Pinterest, I should say. Yeah, it's the same pages. Well, it looks like he did something, so that's cool. So he's still alive, and oh shit, no! Let's grab a slice. No. Hey Mike, I'll send a link and we can chat. You can talk about We Go Anywhere. Oh, and good times at San Diego Comic Con. Oh shit. You guys are the best. Thanks for finding that guy. It's so weird. Like actually just that's him. Oh, you should never cover your bases, Art, and stress that no one contacts this guy. Oh shit. He's not bad. Art is now stalking Mike. That's funny. Continue this tomorrow. Make it a cliffhanger. I mean, if you guys get a hold of him and then he comes to me, maybe. But oh shit, what is this? Danky Frankie. What is that? Usstatesman.com meet a oh, it's the college, yeah, making comics. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah. Yeah, it's his college. Well, I'm glad he kept drawing. Maybe the lessons helped. Maybe it was a good thing. Let me see. To be fair, I've heard other artists from 60s and 70s talk about rando fans showing up at their homes and treating them like friends. Those were the times. Yeah, yeah, I don't think, yeah, it was different. It was definitely different. I mean, the way we raised, my wife and I raised our daughter was different. I mean, they scheduled play dates. They didn't just run the neighborhood. Like she didn't run the neighborhood and just go to friends' houses. Like that's what we did. Like we'd get home from school, we would do our homework, and then we'd go out and just goof off until sundown. And we just showed up at people's houses. We didn't call and stuff like that. So. Um, Yeah, don't contact him for reals. Yeah, yeah, I'm not going to, but maybe. Well, no, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. I'll find you. It's not me. It's not me. Hey, Rick. It's dueling lovins. Well, I am glad that he did get something done. Everyone's got something weird about them. Neil Adams has his expanding Earth theory. Yeah, I find it kind of interesting. On some level, there's kind of there's I always say there's like I'm I used to always say like normal is boring, right? Normal is boring, but there is kind of like taking it too far. And I definitely do have a line that I'm comfortable with, and there's a line that I'm not. So I can actually tolerate quite a bit. And I'm a little bit of a strange guy as well. I got animation cells on my walls and I draw comic books, so it's a little strange. But there are people that take it a little too far. Let's see. We'll find out next week. Art and Mike are working on a new book. Uh, it wasn't bad. Oh my gosh, a doorbell ringing would be a perfect way to end this stream. Yes, it would. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was ready to end the stream, and then you guys found the real Mike Lovins. I just hired Mike Lovins for my new comic. It's called Art. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Uh, my mom said it was rude to invite yourself over to someone's house. Yeah, we never had those pretenses. Yeah, we just run the neighborhood and show up wherever. Okay, well, I'm going to share, and then I'm going to get some drawing on black and white done if I can get this to work. There we go. Okay. Share. All right. Here we go. This is what we are going to be bringing to the campaign very, very, very soon. So this is Eric Huttle's, his sculpts, and these are obviously castings of the action figures. So these are, they're figurines of Black. So this is Reed Blackett, aka Black. Um, it's weird because my least favorite color is actually the black one, but it would be cool to have a black in black and white in white. So I think my favorite right now is the blue one. I know the Keshi figures and some of the muscle figures, they come in like that flesh tone. So I know that that's kind of like for the collectibles and the collectors out there. Um, so if you guys are just fans of black and white or like cool, like collectibles, or just like neat figurines. These are going to be up on the site very, very soon. Eric is saying that he's working out some of the. I guess there's some there's ways you have to pour the molds and stuff like that. So he's still trying to figure out how to get the best. They call them pulls from the molds for you guys. So yeah, he's going into production on these things. He just sent a bunch of them out to me, so I'll be able to show those off, like the actual figurines, on a live stream. So yeah, we are going to bring this into the black and white campaign very, very soon. And like I said earlier, original artwork too. So original pages, story pages, we are going to bring into the campaign. So if you guys are fans of original artwork, fans of black and white, you'll be able to get back some artwork and get some of these cool Keshi figures of black and white coming very, very soon. So these things are phenomenal. Thank you so much, Eric, for doing such a good job on these. I can't wait to be able to show off the white figure for you guys. That's going to be cool as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for putting this in the chat. Thank you, Frankie. The wrench was well earned. And also, you guys, the link is in the description for black and white. Go check it out. Back today. Pick yourself up a t-shirt if you haven't already. There's a bunch of good stuff there. And like I said, just because we're in demand doesn't mean we're not going to be bringing new stuff to the campaign. So, oh, shoot. This is cool. Gaming or what? Trademark. Always trademark. For the $2. Thank you so much for just sending me $2. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. You guys have been very, very cool, very fun interacting. You guys are the best, man. I had so much fun, hanging out with you guys, especially you, Mike Lovins. Yeah, a lot of fun. Needs to be more inclusive, be better. You stop that. I'm going to have to stop talking to you, Mike, if you keep talking to me like that. I like the blue one too. Yeah, I thought wait. Yeah, there you go. I like the blue one too. See you later for lunch. Yeah, well, my tastes are more expensive these days, so I don't think you could afford me, Cam. I don't think you could afford me. Well, thanks again, you guys. Thanks so much for the super chats. You guys are the best. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, hey, Jimmy, what's up, man? Brilliant inker, Jimmy Reyes. So thanks, guys. I'm going to get back to work, and I'll see you soon. Take care.